Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier.
Found this thing at the bottom of the Pacific, right? So they were going to do some mining down there because apparently there's a lot of stuff we need down there.
Yeah.
A lot more for batteries for electric cars because it's really good for the environment. So we're just going to dig into the very shallow crust of our oceans to get for the stuff that's really good for
green energy.
Green energy, everybody. 400 meters below sea level.
4,000 meters.
Right. 4,000 meters, which is how many feet? X-Ray girl, go.
12,000.
It is 13K feet.
Oh, I was close.
Close. 4,000 meters below sea level, scientists have found the spectacular dark oxygen.
Dark oxygen.
It's Netflix oxygen.
Oh my god.
Thank you. Good night.
Well, to me, this is just proof that we have no idea how life can exist outside of Earth.
Yep.
When on our own planet, we have two different things that show us that you don't need the sun. The thermal vents, where there are the iron snails and different kinds of shrimp that live there, and we know that those same thermal vents are we assume that that's what causes the geysers on Enceladus. And then this is oxygen being created where no light can reach.
Mm-hmm.
So oxygen is, I don't know if you know, really important for life to exist, as we know anyway.
What's interesting, on the way out to LA, I was listening to the book Project Hail Mary. A fun little book. It's about friendship. It's by the guy who did The Martian. So it's all problem solving. It's scientific problem solving. There's something that's affecting multiple planets at the same time that's basically killing suns. The world basically has to come together to build a ship to go somewhere to where one sun isn't being effective, to figure out how to fix the problem at Earth. And he's just going to send probes back. It's a suicide mission, and it's years and years. The sun's darkening slowly, and what's darkening it is a living thing. And the whole concept of in the beginning, our main character, who Ryan Gosling's going to play in the movie, is a teacher who kind of like burned out of science because he kind of hated the whole scientific method. So he wrote a paper to basically get kicked out and say, fuck off. And the whole paper is about life doesn't need water to be life. We don't know what life is, and other things could be life that don't rely on things like oxygen and water. And it looks like in the beginning his theory is right. I don't want to ruin the rest, but I highly recommend the book.
A theory that the sun,
you can pull it back
sentient.
up. Doctor Who has covered that in 42. There's a ship like basically pulling plasma off a sun. The sun fights back.
Cool.
Yeah. It's like its little
All
babies. Right. There's always been talk like, is Earth a living thing? Is the planet Earth a
Mother
living
Earth
thing? Is the sun a living thing? And I think maybe, like, is it conscious?
How would we know?
Grass can scream.
True.
Yeah. Which is horrible to think about every time you mow your lawn.
I was massacring them today.
Scattered across an abyssal plain known as the Clarion Clipperton Zone, CCZ, are polymetallic nodules that are a potato-sized prize for mining companies in search of materials needed for humanity's green energy transition.
A funny sentence, though.
I know.
It's like, so we have to scour the bottom of the ocean. And by the way they do that is they basically drag a freaking claw along killing everything. Anyway, sorry.
Hey, it's good for the planet as long as we're not seeing it. A study analyzing these modules reveals that these rocky lumps are capable of producing dark oxygen, 4,000 meters below sea level where light cannot reach. While the discovery could upend our understanding of how life started on Earth, well, I mean, if that's the case, it already does. Not could upend, it does.
Yeah, 100%.
The study also complicates negotiations around deep sea mining. I think it should.
Agreed.
I think it should, because if we're going to mine all that shit that the life relies on, but we'll get into it. The regulations, as it showcases how little we really know about the ocean's depths. You watch, the technology for submarines is about to advance a whole fucking lot.
It's an interesting conversation between giving the government too much power and also letting the government add regulations to stop people from doing this kind of shit, like what's going on in the UK with dimming the sun. Like they're literally gonna try to do it.
Only over the UK?
Right, yeah,
Well,
bullshit.
just live in the fucking UK.
How?
The sun's already dim there. Nestled between Hawaii and the western coast of Mexico lies the Pacific Ocean's Clarion-Clipperton Zone, a 4.5 million kilometer, what the fuck's a kilometer, square area of abyssal plain bordered by the Clarion and Clipperton fracture zones. Although this stretch of sea is a vibrant ecosystem filled with marine life, the CCZ is known best for its immense collection of potato-sized rocks known as polymetallic nodules. Now, what makes them? Is it the only place they exist? Because that's weird.
If they're all on the surface of the ocean floor, maybe they were created when an impact hit and blasted. You think about all the glass that's on the East Coast. That stuff that they found. This seems to me like it could, because look at it. It's got nickel, manganese, copper, zinc, cobalt, rich deposits of them all. So it's like, where are these from?
That sounds like proxies.
Specific metals, right? Exactly.
Impact proxies. These rocks, of which are potentially trillions, are filled with rich deposits of nickel, magnesium, copper, zinc, cobalt, like you just said. Those particular metals are vital for the batteries needed to power a green energy future, leading some mining companies to refer to the nodules as battery in a rock. However, a study reports that these nodules might be much more than simply a collection of valuable materials for electric cars. They also produce oxygen 4,000 meters below the surface where sunlight can't reach. That's weird. The unexpected source, dark oxygen, as it's called, redefines the role that the nodules play in the CCZ. The rocks could also rewrite the script on not only how life began on this planet, but also its potential to take hold on other worlds within our solar system, such as Enceladus and Europa. The results of this study were published by the journal Nature Geoscience.
If there's trillions of these things, right, on the ocean floor, and they create oxygen, there's ecosystems that are based on these.
Yeah.
Like, there's life at the bottom of the ocean that guaranteed gets oxygen from these things and survives from there. And if we remove them, we would be taking a key part of ocean biology, and basically who knows what the domino effect that could happen, or what could happen from that. We're messing with too many things, too many aspects of human life. Is playing God.
If we found a way to responsibly do it, fine. It's only slightly easier for us to get down to the bottom of the ocean than to go to a fucking meteor and just mine it there. I don't really like the fact that it's just going to be dropping a big fucking scraper trawl thing at the bottom of the ocean and just pulling it up with everything else. I mean, imagine what they're going to fucking pull up. They pull up, a megalodon or something like that. Godzilla. For aerobic life to begin on the planet, Andrew Sweatman, deep sea ecologist with Scottish Association for Marine Science and lead author of study, blah, 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 a lot of shit behind his name. There had to be oxygen and other understandings, and our understanding has been that Earth's oxygen supply began with photosynthetic organisms. But we now know that there is oxygen produced in the deep sea where there is no light. I think we therefore need to revisit questions like, where could aerobic life have begun? I think that's a good question. They're going to fuck with this. It's a geo battery.
All they're seeing is money. If we get these things, we can sell them.